Hi, welcome to this STAIR Tailored. My name is Sarah Powell and I'm at the University of Texas at Austin. And today in this STAIR Tailored, we are going to focus on how we solve two-step equations that have an addition operator symbol in them, and we're going to use a tool called the Algebra Tiles. Now we're going to use these Algebra Tiles to solve these two problems. First we'll look at solving 2x plus 4 equals 6, and then we'll do 7 equals 3x plus 1. Let's go ahead and get started. Now I've written both of those problems here on this sticky note. You might write them on a sticky note just like me, or you could write them on the whiteboard or on your board or whatever tool you want to use. But it is always important that students actually see the abstract representation of the problem. Now we're going to use the Algebra Tiles to solve these equations. The Algebra Tiles are a pretty neat tool. Here I can use these rods to represent the variable. Here they will be used to represent x, and I have a positive side and a negative side. I can flip them over to easily show either a positive x or negative x. Then I have these units. Notice that there's kind of a light brown side and a red side. These are going to represent my constant. So this is a positive one, and this would represent a negative one. So let's go ahead and get this problem set up. I have two sets of x, and those x are positive, so I'm going to go ahead and bring in two rods just like this. And to that we are adding 4, and that 4 is positive, so I'll go ahead and bring in 4 units just like that. So I can see I have 2x plus 4. Now on that side of the equal sign we have 6, and I add 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay? So if I was walking around the classroom and kids were doing this with you, I could literally cover the problem up and I could say, oh yes, you have this set up, 2x plus 4 equals 6. It's very good visual to make sure that students have the problem set up correctly. Now we're going to isolate the variable. So I'm going to leave this x here, and I want to remove this constant. And we can do that by using 0 pairs. I want to create 4 0 pairs over here so that this side of the equal sign will equal 0 in terms of my constant. So I'll bring in 4 negative units to make that happen, but whatever you do to one side of the equal sign, you also have to do to the other. So I'll also bring in -4 on that side of the equal sign. Now I'm going to make my 0 pairs and remove them from my workspace. And I don't have any more 0 pairs on this side of the equal sign, but I want to see if I have some on that side of the equal sign, and we do. I'll go ahead and remove those. So now I have 2x equals 2. I want to figure out the value of a single x, so I'm going to distribute my constant among the x's, so I can see that each x has a value of +1. So that was solving 2x plus 4 equals 6. Let's solve this next problem. 7 equals 3x plus 1. So we're going to start with 7, and that 7 is positive, so I'll go ahead and bring in 7 counters there. And over here on that side of the equal sign, I have 3x plus 1. Now what do we want to do? We want to isolate this variable, which means removing this constant. And I remove the constant by creating 0 pairs. So here I'm going to bring in a -1 to create a 0 pair, but if I do that to one side of the equal sign, we also do that to the other side. So now I'm going to create my 0 pairs and remove them from my workspace. So here I now have 6 equals 3x. Now I want to figure out the value of each of these x's. I'm just going to kind of separate them into 3 groups, and then I separate my constants into 3 groups. So here I can see that the value of each x is 2, and it's +2 because this is the positive side of the units. So if I have 7 equals, and that's 3 times 2, that would be 6 plus 1, 7 would equal 7, so we solved that problem correctly. So that was just a brief 2 examples of how we can use the Algebra Tiles to solve two-step equations that have an operator symbol in them. I hope you'll tune into some of our other STAIR tailored videos to see how we can use these Algebra Tiles to solve different types of equations.